people with herpes simplex virus 2 are not even aware that they're infected. This is what happened when Cindy went to see her doctor for her migraine headaches and discovered she had something different.
I knew people who had it, like family or friends, but I really didn't know anything about it. My doctor was doing routine blood work, and I came back positive for herpes simplex 2. I was sad, scared. I felt dirty. It was very hard and very painful to think that I have something that I can never get rid of and that I could give to somebody else. I do know where I got it from, but the person's still in denial. Maybe he's just scared to get tested because he doesn't want to know. And that's scary too, because he could be transmitting it to someone else. The first thought that came into my head is that no one's ever going to want to touch me again. Since I found out that I tested positive, I have been out on a few dates. When I have to tell someone, I try everything in my power not to cry, but I can't help it because I feel dirty. And it's scary because you don't know what their response is going to be, and it hurts. There are a lot of questions that I have. Is there a possibility I could stay breakout free forever? How do I keep my partner safe? Going on national TV and announcing that I have herpes simplex 2, I'm scared to death. If I can help one person not feel the feelings that I have to feel, that I've done something. I don't want someone else to have to feel like I feel. It's not a good feeling.
Cindy, thank you for being here and being brave enough to share your story. You never actually had a breakout.
Never. I've never had a breakout. I'm concerned, wondering if I ever will. Does it lay dormant in my body? I mean...
But you're like a lot of people in America and everywhere, not even really sure how to understand what this means when you're given a diagnosis of herpes simplex. And Lisa, one of the things we want to do is clarify that for you.
Let's start with the basics. Herpes. Herpes 1 usually is like a cold sore, and we have a graphic of that. It's usually in your mouth. Just about everybody has this virus. It's the canker sore or cold sore that you get. Now you can actually pass on herpes type 1 genitally by oral sex. Okay, but then there is a separate virus, herpes type 2, which is also really from the genitals and can also be on the rectal area as well. Okay, and you can actually spread that to the mouth, again, through oral sex. So one of the ways to diagnose it is through blood or cultures. The blood titers aren't as accurate, so you can get false positives too, so it's worthwhile to recheck as well, especially if you haven't had an outbreak.
That's good.
But it can lay dormant, just like you said. The virus resides kind of in these nerve cells, and they lay dormant in what we call the dorsal ganglia root. And then when you have an outbreak, it has these vesicles or ulcerations on the skin, and those usually come up when you get your first infection, or we call it primary infection. Within about a week, you get those. Now, a recurrent infection after you've had it can show up usually in 50% of people in about the first year. So if you haven't had one, then I would say definitely retest to make sure.
But it's entirely possible for people to have the herpes virus
without ever
in their nerve cell and never once have an outbreak. And the good news is that it's less likely you're going to transmit it when there's not an outbreak. If you have an outbreak,
but you still can.
Absolutely.
And that's what a lot of people don't realize. And there's things like acyclovir and famciclovir, these antivirals, which don't cure, and that's what a lot of people think, but they decrease the viral shedding. It makes you less infective to your partner, but it doesn't make you 100%, even if you don't have an outbreak.
As a carrier, I was told that I didn't need to be medicated until I have a breakout. That's not true.
That's for you. That's for you, okay? Because if you have symptoms, some of the symptoms can be burning. I mean, herpes can be very, very painful, and about 10% of women need to be hospitalized because they can't urinate.
Really?
It's so red that it, that it really inflames that whole area, and they can't walk. I've had people who had their first sexual intercourse, gotten herpes, and had to be hospitalized. That's very rare. Usually you can treat it with medications, but it can be very painful. And sometimes people will equate, herpes as being worse than other things just because of the ulcerations, but it doesn't cause cancer, and it, will not shorten your lifespan. So other than the outbreaks, it's just something you would have to deal with. And then telling your partner, which is, which that stigma sometimes really gets women, but it shouldn't be.
What if you're single and you're dating and you found out that you had an STD that may scare potential partners away? Well, this is exactly what Cindy had been facing, and you won't believe what steps she's taking to deal with her new reality. That's next.
I would love to be able to sit down and talk to a doctor that specializes in this to really help me understand, because I want to make sure that I'm really safe. I want to make sure that I don't hurt anyone.
It was Cindy who discovered she had herpes simplex 2 during a routine blood test for her migraine headaches. After ending a relationship and finally getting the courage to start dating again, she was faced with having to tell her potential partners that, hey, I have an incurable STD, and that is not something that anyone ever wants to have to tell a potential partner. But you took a novel approach. Cindy made a very noble effort to join a dating website called PositiveSingles.com for people who are in a similar situation to her. Joining us is a representative from that site. It's Steve Casper. Welcome. Thank you. It really is an intriguing concept, because anytime I have someone come into the ER, or they come into your office and they're newly diagnosed with herpes, for instance, it is really a problem for them, because, well, who am I going to date now? And who's going to want to be with me? There are a lot of questions. This is a really intriguing concept. Some people may disagree with it, but tell us about it.
Well, we started Positive Singles in 2002. We operate about 40 different relationship websites, and we're always looking for different niches of people that we can help bring together in a community. And we found that there was a need through our other websites. People had suggested to us that maybe we could start a site for people who have STDs, because so many people were coming up on our other sites that had this issue. And so we felt, well, maybe we could start a community that would bring these people together to not only help them find other people with similar problems, but to educate them and to provide a safe environment for them.
And I think that's great, Travis, again, because actually one of the worst things someone can do is not tell their partner and have unprotected intercourse, and a lot of people will do that.
It's easier to be quiet, but that is the wrong thing to do, and you're doing the absolute right thing. And that's an important point for anyone at home. If you have an incurable STD, it is incumbent upon you to inform your partner. It's absolutely essential.